going on, Jerome's? So if you watch the channel for any amount of time, you know that we love us the conspiracy theories, and we like the conspiracies that actually could be rooted in truth. Like they're just a little bit of where it makes sense. We like the meaty conspiracies, great ass, as opposed to like the skinny conspiracies. Ain't nobody got time for that. And of course, JJ McCarthy is 1,000% the quarterback of the Vikings. Right, you drafted him, highest drafted quarterback team history. The knee is good to go. Kevin Conley-Quasey gushing about McCarthy over and over and over and over again. Plus, you put up zero fight trying to keep Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones as well as Nick Mullins. If you want to keep them, you could have kept any of them. Right? If you're honestly concerned about JJ McCarthy, you probably would have kept Darnold. Right? But the Vikings, they did not. They declined. And also, all of this talk, all the rumors and conjectures, Aaron to the Vikings, blah, 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 blah. Now, a lot of it is just media speculation and pushing narratives because they're like, Brett Favre did the same thing. That's really all it is. Like, there honestly hasn't been like a legitimate like local beat writer who would be tied into the Vikings that says, yes, the Vikings do have interest in Aaron Rodgers. There's been no, private jet tracking from Hattiesburg or where the hell Rodgers is. Not Hattiesburg. You know what I mean? But honestly, if Kevin O'Connell and Quasey go down this road, signing up Aaron Rodgers, who's probably in a cave smoking crack right now, it makes zero sense. Right? So they cleared up all this cap space, signed up all these free agents, and then instead of turning the keys to the first round pick that you selected, and also you let Darnold and Jones and Mullins out the building, just to sign Aaron Rodgers and spend $40-50 million bucks? No. And we've gone over the reasons why this is stupid. And this has nothing to do with politics, right? So this is strictly on the field football. Rodgers is not the same Rodgers of 6 to 7 years ago. All right, so 34-year-old Aaron Rodgers is not walking through that door, right? And over the last 2 years, past 2 full seasons, so 2022 with the Packers, 2024 with the Jets, he's been terrible. He's been absolutely atrocious. But the Vikings are loaded. Yeah, you know who the Vikings are loaded for? This guy. The greatest competitive advantage right now is having your starting quarterback on his rookie deal, and as you see from the Vikings going up. So again, this whole Rodgers thing from a football standpoint is absolutely stupid. Plus, would not fit into Kevin O'Connell's scheme. You know whose scheme is similar to Kevin O'Connell? LaFleur, because they come from the McVay-Shanahan tree, and that was the system that Rodgers was bucking against so hard in 2022. So it ain't going to happen. Plus, it would set back J.J. McCarthy for a year. So for a billion reasons, it's stupid. But I think we finally cracked it. I think we finally figured out why, just like a annoying pebble in the shoe, Rodgers-Vikings keeps getting brought up in hushed tones. Now, like there hasn't been a definitive, this is happening, but here we go. So conspiracy. Steelers and the Giants are the only real options for Rodgers. All right, Steelers missed out on Justin Fields. They're sort of whatever about bringing Russ back. And I actually feel like Steelers are kind of close. Not really close, but kind of close. The Giants are far away. But Rodgers wouldn't have to move. But the Giants are also desperate. Absolutely desperate as hell. Because Joe Shane as well as Brian Daboll are trying to save their jobs. Plus, the Saquon thing is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. I think the Steelers are the first option. I think that they're the better team. I think that they have better weapons. I mean, Neighbors is awesome for the Giants, but I think the suite of the weapons that the Steelers have now is going to be good to go. And also, the Giants potentially could go quarterback at 3 if one falls, or they can maneuver, so they're in a better position to do that in the draft. Teams are dragging their feet, money, years guaranteed, etc. And Rodgers' agent, David Dunn, Athletes First, is doing what good agents do. So create a little tension, create a little drama, create a little heightened demand by adding another team that's potentially looking at Rodgers, right? So Rodgers' agent leaks to insiders, Vikings to Aaron Rodgers. Now, he could do this through Confederates who owe favors. So a personnel executive, a scout, another agent, someone who the insiders wouldn't see as directly correlated to the rumors. Because, I mean, if his agent just comes out and says, hey, Schefter, just say this, usually ain't going to happen. Or sometimes it can happen in a trading for favors. Like, hey, if you say that the Vikings and Rodgers have interest, I will get you the next scoop on my clients. Horse trading like that happens all the time with the insiders, right? Or like we said, the agent could pipeline this through other organizations, other things that owe him favors, and then all of a sudden it's league sources say Vikings and Rodgers. And you've seen this with the Alexander Rossini. You've seen this with Mike Silver, who notably is a Cal Bear alum, just like Rodgers. It's good to know. But also, on the other side, Schefter has said 100% J.J. McCarthy is the guy, but he's also a Michigan alum like J.J. I mean, these alma maters run deep, right? But I don't know, you haven't really seen Garofalo. You haven't really seen Pelissero. You haven't really seen Glazer or anyone else just really saying, like, hey, this is happening. So maybe it's a situation where they got, right? And now what happens is all of a sudden, NFL Network on the Twitter machine, oh, Diana Rossini, Mike Silver, respected NFL insiders, like, oh, Vikings are in. Even though, again, does it make sense? No, it does not make sense, especially the way that the Vikings have been spending in free agency. And also, if they had concerns about J.J. McCarthy, they would have brought back Darnold, except they did not. They did not. So even though logically it doesn't make sense, if you're Khan of the Steelers, if you're Shane of the Giants, you got to be freaking out a little bit. It's like, oh, the game of musical chairs is winding down, and that music's slowing down, and we don't have a chair as of yet. Plus, the draft is sort of whatever. And in terms of the market, I mean, Kirk Cousins might be cut. Russell Wilson, you excited about that? Yeah. Rodgers, even though Rodgers is washed, I mean, these are very desperate times for very desperate teams. And now, if they see on the TV or on the Twitter machine that the Vikings and Rodgers, oh, there's mutual interest, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, the Giants and the Steelers panic. They up their bids. They move fast to close things out. And then guess what? The agent does his job. His client gets top dollar. He gets guarantees. He does all this stuff. Right? And say, a lot of people mention, why don't the Vikings just come out and say, J.J. McCarthy's our starting quarterback. We have zero interest in Aaron Rodgers. Aha. So here comes that horse trading of favors yet again. All right? So the Vikings staying silent, which, I don't know, it doesn't really benefit the Vikings one way or the other for them to come out and make a statement, right? But Rodgers and Harrison Smith are both represented by Athletes First. Now, it's a large firm. They don't have the same agents, but within the firm, just doing a solid. Just do us a little solid, and then maybe we'll just nudge our guy to get a deal done. So all day, since Rodgers has been officially cut by the Jets to start the new league year, all day, Rodgers and Vikings rumors have trended. And then magically this evening, Harrison Smith's deal gets done after a day of rumors. It's almost like, hey, we will get this Harrison Smith deal done way before the Saturday deadline, but we'll get that done now if you guys just stay silent or don't leak to any other insiders that you have no interest. You never had interest. But after Rodgers signs with the Steelers or the Giants, it'll come out in the end because it'll trickle down because the truth is the best disinfectant. Oh, yeah, the Vikings had zero interest in J.J. McCarthy as the guy, right? It's almost like this is how the game is played. And you got to respect the agent because it doesn't matter what the truth is. It's what people think it is. And if you can manipulate it and basically get the Giants or Steelers to gain some leverage where there was none, I mean, that's doing your job. And it took me a while because, like I said, it makes zero sense for Rodgers to the Vikings outside of the No, it's J.J. McCarthy's team. It's no one else's. If they're worried about J.J., they would bring back Darnold. So even though it made zero sense, it took a while to put the pieces together. I think this is exactly what happened. And again, we love the conspiracies that got some meat to them. Baby, this is a beef rib. Ugh. Come on, man. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. We solved the Aaron conspiracy. We did it. Mama, we did it. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production vibe.